If I told you that plastics is in your brain right now and it's changing your cognitive abilities, your ability to procreate, your fertility, we know it's in the oceans, but we don't know en masse that it's in our bodies, it's affecting our children. There's not a lot that we can do right now. I'm very hopeful that films and well-meaning people can change the world. There's a wonderful maxim by Margaret Mead who said, never doubt that a few thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that it ever has. And I think that's true. You just need to light up a few people. And it is possible to change the world. And I think that hopelessness is what we have to fight all the time, every day of our lives.
Obviously, plastic pollution is one of the biggest threats to marine life, especially to the species in Antarctica, the whales, the cetaceans, right down to the bottom of the food chain, the krill. Have you got any thoughts or feedback on how we should change the way we do things to try and mitigate that?
It's going to be a longer answer, but I think it would be more meaningful. I don't think people are going to change what they drive because, let's say, the ice is melting in the northern polar regions. People don't care about polar bears. They care about them in like a transient kind of way, but they're not going to change their behavior because of it. But if I told you that plastics is in your brain right now, that the average adult, they say, eats about a credit card with the microplastics every week, and it's changing your cognitive abilities and your ability to procreate, your fertility, it's changing your obesogens, it's flicking on the bad genes and turning off the good ones, and making us fatter as a culture, so that if you give identical species of mice, the same amount of nutrients and exercise, but one gets microplastic at the same ratio that we have it, you can deform its progeny, you can make it fatter, and it flicks off the bad genes so that 4 generations of its progeny are also overweight. So the human health issue, we know it's in the oceans, but we don't know en masse that it's in our bodies, it's affecting our children. I think that's the big lever here to push. It's like, yeah, that's a problem out there, but we should be worrying about what's inside of us.
And how does the general public go about changing that? Obviously no one wants to have plastic in their food or in their water. What can the average person do?
There's not a lot that we can do right now.
It's almost such an overwhelming issue. People can feel helpless sometimes, and the term eco-anxiety, quite prevalent now. It seems to be a lot of younger children feel helpless or this eco-anxiety. How do you deal with eco-anxiety? Because you're at the coalface of all these issues, and you know how serious they are.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, I was so pissed off at the generation that was above me that were allowing, nuclear warheads pointed at each other. And I was like, why save money? Why bother to, we might be incinerated the next day. And that kind of hopelessness is like what I rebelled against. And let me give you some ideas of where I'm coming from. I had one of the first electric cars in Colorado, one of the first 3 electric cars in Colorado, a 2002 fully electric Toyota RAV, powered by 114 solar panels, before people had solar panels like they do today. And I thought I discovered the Holy Grail. But back then, I go to the environmental conferences and people would say, such a niche, electric cars will never be able to scale. Alternative energy is just it's a good idea, but it's, less than 1% of 1% of the energy production. So you're, Pollyanna, great idea, but let's talk over here with the grown-ups. It's like, that was 20 years ago. Now you look what's going on, and, Elon Musk, whatever you think about him, he's still the richest guy in the world, and he's, he changed the industry. Alternative energy like, wind and solar, depending on what region you're in, it's still cheaper than new installed gas or certainly coal. So these changes, these technological changes only take about 10 years. 15 years ago, we were punching the number 2 key 6 times on our flip phone to text a capital C. These changes happen really quick. And, my hope is that documentaries just put jumper cables on these issues so that we're talking, another 10 years and be like, God, that's amazing. We could change the plastic system or the way that we're getting our food. That's all happening. The game changers. Merrill Lynch did a study last December, about a year ago. They said that 75% of the interest worldwide in the plant-based diet is because of that film, The Game Changers. So I'm very hopeful that, films and well-meaning people can change the world. There's a wonderful maxim by Margaret Mead who said, never doubt that a few thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that it ever has. And I think that's true. It's just you just need to light up a few people, and they could be the lightning rods to a movement.